While fans know George Takei for his memorable on-screen roles, the actor has been equally outspoken about his commitment to equal rights as well.
Yeah, now he's opening up about his tough childhood years in a new graphic novel they called us Enemy. And we are so delighted to have George Takei back with us now. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Well, let's talk about this book because it details your childhood in American internment camps where during World War II, a lot of Japanese Americans were placed. Why did you?
Imprisoned.
Yeah, in prison.
Barbed wire fences,
and a lot
sentry
of people
towers.
still don't know about this part, this embarrassing part of American history.
That is so true.
But why did you decide to tell this story as a graphic novel as opposed to a memoir?
Well, it is a graphic memoir. But, you know, I've written my autobiography, which was published in 1994, and I went into depth on my childhood imprisonment. But still, to this day, I share my childhood imprisonment with people that I consider well-informed, and they are aghast. They're shocked that something like this happened in America.
And could happen to someone, you know, like you.
Yes.
Right.
Well, then I wasn't like me now. I was a 5-year-old kid. And so I tell in this graphic memoir, I tell the story from the eyes of a 5-year-old, cute, adorable me. But that gets the people into the story, but then the larger reality that my parents were experiencing, and it was a harrowing experience.
Is your intention then for not only adults to be, because everyone, you know, reads graphic novels and graphic memoirs, are you hoping that younger people as well can be pulled into this story by telling it this way?
We want young readers, youth readers and young Americans to be exposed to this story early on, so that they're not these adults that we talk to and are shocked that America has this kind of history, and they grow up knowing this, so that you know, we know the history of slavery and what happened to the Native Americans. And we keep repeating that kind of cruelty and injustice, this cycle, unending cycle.
With the border situation
Exactly
now.
that. It's a very timely read, because we have this history and because so many Americans are uninformed on this. And my hope is, and I consider this a book of hope, that people grow up knowing this story, so that we have more people who are determined to prevent this sort of thing from happening again. It's a very timely story.
Well, it's very impactful. And we also want to ask you about something also impactful. Your AMC second season for Terror is coming up. What can we expect?
Well, this is my summer of internment, a 1-2 punch. First the book, and then the miniseries.
Because it deals with the same
issue in a different way. It's probably groundbreaking in its scope. It's the first time that the internment is dealt with and dramatized on this scale. 10 episodes, 10 hours over a 10-hour period, so that we examine all the details of pre-Pearl Harbor, immediate post-Pearl Harbor, and the hysteria that swept through this country. We're stripped of everything, imprisoned, and after a year of imprisonment, the government comes down demanding our loyalty. I mean, isn't that outrageous? We've been imprisoned for a year, and how we answer that loyalty questionnaire determined what happened to the rest of the time that we were in prison. And my parents stood on principle, and they said, no, this is unjust, and you can't demand loyalty from us in this way. And so we were transferred to another camp called Tule Lake, which was later christened as a segregation camp. It had 3 layers of barbed wire fences, and I mean, in grotesque overreaction, half a dozen tanks patrolling the perimeter.
It's heartbreaking when you hear those details, but I'm glad that being who you are now, that you're telling these stories, because people really are leaning in and paying attention with everything that you're doing. And you can pick up They Called Us Enemy out everywhere now, and follow George on social media for all of his upcoming projects. George, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
We'll live long and prosper.